It's WNBF live and local Tuesday morning. Ask the Mayor. I'm Bob Joseph with Binghamton Mayor Rich David. Let's go to the phones. Tarik from Binghamton, you're on the air.
Hi, good morning, Bob. Good morning, Mayor David. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you. Listen, first, I just wanted to say thanks for agreeing to, I think we have one debate on our scheduled for Bob Joseph the end of October, so I appreciate that. I hope there's opportunity to continue that discussion.
Well, I think we've both been working on scheduling more than one debate.
Yes,
and it's good.
We have the Rotary debate as well, I believe.
Yeah, I believe that is on the 31st as well.
And we have one at the Binghamton University that both our camps are working on as well. So it's not just the one debate on Bob Joseph, just to be clear.
Yeah, and before we go any further, since we had not officially announced this, actually it hasn't been announced publicly yet, Mayor David and Tarik Abdelazim have agreed to be live on this program during the 10 o'clock hour on Monday, October 30th, just a little over a week before the election. And I want to thank each of you for agreeing to that, to talk about city issues on October 30th. Continue, Mr. Abdelazim.
So this is why I was hoping, Mayor, we could sit down and have an honest and an open discussion with listeners and constituents, whether it's on air or in community forums. So when you talk about the finances, you say that what you would have done, but there was a record of what you did do. And so for the last 4 years in Bucci, when you were right-hand man...
You were Mayor Ryan's right-hand man, just to be clear.
Sure, that is correct. You passed on tax rates, an average of 7% a year. And during Bucci's 8 last years, the residential property tax rate went up 52%. So are you saying that Bucci made all the wrong decisions? Or why couldn't you have then passed off 0 or 1% tax increases when you were serving in the mayor's office those last 4 years?
Well, here's the primary difference. And so I've been mayor for 3.5 years, so I have my own record. Just to be clear, I'm very proud of the role I played in the Bucci administration while Rich Bucci was mayor. I think he did a great job as mayor, and I stand by the record he put in place. But this obsession that you and the former mayor and others have with Rich Bucci and his record, he hasn't been mayor since 2005. The year is 2017. But you're not answering the question
because you're criticizing. You said that the only thing we did was raise taxes, and Mayor, you know that's not accurate at all. Is that we didn't have a fund balance that you did when you were serving with Bucci your last 4 years.
But but just to be clear, I didn't use the fund balance. I didn't use the fund balance on government day-to-day operations of the city. So you are out there. You're out there trying. Excuse me. Hey, Tarik. Excuse me. I'm the mayor. I'm the current mayor today.
That's correct.
And I'm talking. I would appreciate the opportunity to respond, and you'll have an opportunity to respond to me. I've been the mayor for the last 3.5 years, and I have not used the fund balance on day-to-day general government operations. And you are trying to portray this false scenario that all of the positive things that are happening with the city's fund balance are a result of the reserves that were left behind. And that is simply not true. What I have utilized the fund balance for is to plug holes in other funds where you and the former mayor left major deficits, such as the sewer fund and the $4.5 million hole that was left there. So
did you see how you did that? The switch? That's not at all what I was even referring to, Mayor.
But it's a fact.
I simply said that you were criticizing the Democrats for just raising taxes, and that wasn't the case at all. Is that we consolidated services, tax services, housing services, planning services, IT services. We cut City Hall by 10%, 70 positions, did almost all of it through attrition. We had about 20 different cost-saving measures and revenue enhancers that came from a year-long of studies from 100 community members coming together to tackle these problems. So my question simply is that when you were Bucci's right-hand man, and you passed on tax rates 7% a year for 4 years and used about $3 million of the reserves to artificially keep those tax rates low, why didn't you then make the hard decisions or the right decisions then? The reason why you were able to do so much better since you've been mayor, the difference between David in 2002 through 5 and David in 2013 through 17, the difference is 8 years of Democrats that served in between.
Well, Tarik, let me say this. I like how you cherry pick those years of 2002 and 2005. So here are some facts that you're conveniently omitting when you talk about the city's finances. When Rich Bucci left office, the city of Binghamton had a AAA bond rating. It was downgraded under your administration
because
and the Democrats that you're
financial
highlighting.
Ruin there.
No. Oh, that is no. This is simple. No, excuse me,
Tarik, don't the comptroller's number.
Tarik, don't interrupt
and
me.
Then we can use one source that
Tarik,
both of us refer to.
The reason the city's bond rating was downgraded was very simple. It was because the financial team you put in place had difficulty filing the AUD and financial statements on a regular basis. And that is a documented fact. You could
there
not
were
accomplish.
Delays, but that was not the reason.
It was the reason. And you know, we can talk more about this during the debate. But just to be very clear, the reason the AAA bond rating that you inherited was downgrading, which cost taxpayers tens of thousands of dollars over the life of bonds and their notes, is because the financial team that you put in place was unable to accomplish the simple task of filing financial statements and documents and reports on a timely basis. City council had to step in after years of basic financial reports were not filed. And we're still dealing with the impact of that today.
You're
the city of Binghamton.
Why a
it's true. The comptroller
came
down.
It's called an economic recession that we hadn't seen in 80 years. It was called the fact that we were handed a city.
You always have an excuse. There's always an excuse why it isn't your responsibility.
There's not an excuse,
the comptroller came down in 2011 and cited that administration for having a negative fund balance. That's documented in the Press and Sun Bulletin. The city of Bingham used to receive awards for financial reporting and record keeping, but not anymore.
See, this is why I honestly think this is why you're not willing to have a series of on-air discussions or meet out in the community events that you squeeze everything.
We've already scheduled multiple debates, but here's the other thing, Tarik. Just to be very clear. With our records.
Let's be very clear.
There isn't anything that you can say or any issue that you can discuss or any plans that you can outline right now where you didn't have the opportunity to do this over the course of the 8 years that you were in office. The concept...
You mean saving the city from financial ruin and putting it in the strongest financial position of any other city in upstate? Syracuse, the next mayor, is going to inherit a train wreck. The Utica mayor passed on a 24% or proposed 24% tax increase. That's because those leaders kicked the can down the road.
You don't use facts. I mean, the city of Syracuse has the largest fund balance in upstate New York.
You're clearly not paying attention to trends.
Well,
and as somebody who works all across upstate New York and the country,
I find it very interesting. That,
I have a really good understanding of what's happening.
Well,
and
let me tell you.
Excuse me.
Let's talk about the very good understanding you have, because when I went door to door in 2013, the common theme I heard is residents of all parties could not wait for a change in administration because of massive tax increases, because of cutting police officers, which we haven't had a chance to touch on yet.
If Bucci raised the residential tax rate 52%
Tarik,
during the
I have
years.
My own record. I've been the mayor for 3.5 years. You know, Rich Bucci is not running for office.
Because
you understand that, don't you?
You're surfing on the wave of financial security and strength.
Well, you know what?
That was achieved by Democrats working with city unions and community members through very difficult times.
Really? Well, I'll tell you what.
The fact that you continue to belittle the unions
I'm not belittling. I'm not belittling unions and community members. I'm just setting the record straight. And over the course of the next 8, 9, 10 weeks, you're going to have the opportunity to go out and spin this fairy tale and this conspiracy theory, and we'll just let the residents make a decision.
I will provide the report that the city submits to the comptroller's office, I will reference all those reports, and I will show the trends how the city's fund balance was in steep free fall when we took over office, and how we turned year-over-year deficits to year-over-year surplus.
And see, here's what you don't understand. Here's what you don't understand. Here's what you don't understand. Residents cannot shoulder the burden of massive tax increases,
of course,
year after year after year.
And they don't have to anymore,
and you're doing the same thing right now that you did over the course of 8 years. You're trying to explain it away. Not fixed by the former administration.
Yeah, it absolutely was.
That's your story.
You are beneficiary of circumstances. So not only did you inherit a $10 million fund balance, but while we were in office,
I love how the fund balance changes. Every time we talk about the fund balance, the number changes.
It was $9.5 million. I apologize for misspeaking.
Well,
your
former boss said it was $14 million.
And pension went up $7.5 million.
We had to deal with that too.
Mayor, no, since you've been in office, Mayor, let's be honest, pension and health insurance costs have dropped $3 million. Your sales tax revenue between 2013 and 2017 has gone up $1 million.
And you know
that's
what?
a $4 million
that's
swing.
Not by chance.
You could have fallen asleep at the desk for 4 years and still passed on the same tax rate or better.
Let me tell you,
to the property owner.
Fiction can be fun, and let's talk about the sales tax. That didn't just
I
happen
will.
by itself.
I will defer
that
the rest of the time to the other listeners,
that,
Bob. So I appreciate the opportunity to talk, and I hope that we can continue to have fact-based discussions of this matter.
You don't want to
finish his record and my future. So.
You don't want to finish the conversation? No, it's like.
Oh, I'm happy to. I just thought that I would be criticized for hogging all the time. See, this is exactly what I wanted to do, Mayor. It'd be great.
Well, the sales tax revenue increase was not just a gift from the county. There were a lot of mayors and supervisors that worked very hard in order to get the county and the county legislature to agree to this formula. And this is what happens when you focus on local issues instead of focusing on things like cost of war clocks and Occupy New York. When you actually focus on Binghamton issues.
See, because you really are afraid of putting forward our visions and our plans and our records
I welcome it.
On issues. And so you have to use these trumped-up distractions. So let's have a discussion there.
They're not distractions.
Let's talk next week or your next time, an hour, about how we're going to address and protect our neighborhoods from blight or floods. Let's have that discussion. Are you willing to do that? If you say you're not afraid of having that conversation, let's do it.
We are having this conversation. We're going to do it through a series of debates. And that's how we're going to do it. Debates.
Push it to the end. That's fine. But if you really are,
listen, it's not. You run the campaign. You run the campaign that you want to run. I'll run the campaign that I want to run. I was obviously very successful the last time I ran for mayor. I would have been successful 8 years ago, but it was a three-way race. The concept that you and others, feel that you won with a mandate. You never reached more than 40% of the vote in either election. This is the first time I've ever ran for mayor. I'm really confused with what you're saying. So if you want to sit and talk about both our records on vacancy and blight and how we're going to protect our neighborhoods going forward, I welcome that conversation. So here's what you don't understand. People are intimately familiar with you and your record of the previous administration. People that lived in the city of Binghamton during the Tarik Abdelazim tenure, they felt the impact of a reduction of 20 cops. They felt the impact of a 52% increase. They felt the impact of neglect on blight in neighborhoods and parks.
You mean the award-winning effort in blight and vacancy?
Well, you know what? Do you think people living in the First Ward and the North Side and the South Side feel like the city of Binghamton has an award-winning strategy? I mean,
Mayor, all you do is you go in, you knock down a building. I'm staring at a weed-strewn vacant lot over here, and you call it a day. We didn't do that. We actually demolished property and transformed those spaces into neighborhood assets, into parks.
Well, you know what? Into parks. Well,
we didn't just leave vacant lots. We built new homes for seniors, new homes for first-time home buyers. So if you want to talk about this, let's do it, because you mischaracterized the records. Because
I'm not mischaracterizing your record. People do understand. That's what you don't understand. People lived through the Ryan
You have
Abdelazim
to keep
administration.
saying Ryan Abdelazim, right? I can finish your sentences for you.
Well, really? Well, how often are you bringing up
what
Rich
is my
Bucci?
record, Mayor?
Here's the difference. I'm very proud of the record that I had with Rich Bucci. Can you say that you're proud of? Are you going to stand with Matt Ryan?
I am absolutely proud of the service that the 8 years of Democrats working with seniors, the city unions, Democratic Council, and community members did to build the foundation of success that you're standing on. And you've carried some of that momentum forward nobly, and I applauded you for that. But I think you've also completely missed the boat and squandered some opportunities, and you neglected needs in the neighborhood.
Well,
I believe
that's your opinion, and you're
so much
entitled
more,
to it.
And I look forward to
let
having
the residents.
that discussion.
We'll put both of our records out there, and we'll let the residents make a decision.
All right. Appreciate the vigorous conversation this morning, Mayor, and I look forward to talking with you some more. And Bob, appreciate the opportunity to talk. Democratic
candidate for Mayor Tarik Abdelazim, along with the Republican incumbent mayor, Richard David. And just so people know, I will, as a public service, open up another hour of the program prior to our October 30th scheduled debate here in the studio if both Mayor David and Tarik Abdelazim would like to take advantage of that opportunity. That's if, Mayor David. Will you consider it?
Sure. We'll look at the schedule. We'll consider it.